Philomena, directed by Stephen Frears, is a heart-provoking movie that visually interprets the novel, written by the author Martin Sixsmith. The story is central to Philomena Lee and her long-lost son Anthony. After her body begins to strike with signs of pregnancy, Philomena instantly regrets her vulnerability as a young teenager. Her one-night stand with the boy at the neighborhood carnival changes her life forever. The Lee family, being strong believers of the Catholic religion in Ireland during the 1950s, disown her and send her to Sean Ross Abbey, an institution for troubled women. Here, Philomena is brutally mistreated by the nuns and is involuntarily engaging in manual tasks. In this center, Philomena gives birth to her son Anthony, but their bond and close contact is soon cut off once Anthony turns 3 years old. At this age, him and a young girl named Mary from Sean Ross Abbey are stripped from their loving mother's hands and are adopted together by an American family, soon making them siblings. This becomes Philomena's final memory of her son, which torments and haunts her with every passing day. Decades after, in 2009, Philomena finds the courage to search for her Anthony alongside a well-known journalist, Martin Sixsmith, who quite interestingly is the author of this novel. The information that the two gather includes a name, a birth date that corresponds with Anthony's, and a location. This is Anthony Lee, now known as Michael Hess. The following day, Philomena and Martin catch the earliest flight to Washington, D.C., but their quest takes a devastating turn. Online sources from the White House, Michael's former place of employment, honors his service on a memorial page. Philomena is distraught. She not only lost her son once, but twice. She can easily lose hope and fly straight back home to Ireland, but her motherly instinct encourages her to continue searching for answers. They find phone numbers and addresses of those who once had a relationship with Michael, but the relationships are all quite distant. The progress in their journey is very minor, until Martin's researching skills direct them to the home of Michael's adopted sister Mary. In the chosen scene, Philomena and Martin arrive at Mary's home in Florida and explain their sudden appearance, but to much surprise, Mary does not display any sign of emotion. The three of them gather in the living room and flip through old photo albums with pictures of Michael and his friends. They speak about Michael's past, but the conversation soon dies down. Mary states that the two of them never spoke about their Irish heritage together and hated their adoptive family, especially their father. Was Michael ever satisfied with his life? Ever happy? The scene concludes with Philomena staring off into the distance in deep thought. This particular scene was selected based on the character analysis of Mary, which differs significantly from novel to movie. The author of the novel portrays Mary as a caring woman who is very family-oriented and friendly towards others. The readers are given the impression that Mary takes pride in raising her children, has a strong bond with Michael, and has searched for her Irish roots alongside her brother on their trip to Ireland. Prior to Michael's death, the two of them are inseparable, and when she hears the news that he would soon be taking his final breaths, she rushes to his bedside and comforts him, while in the movie she seems quite unfazed by his death. Stephen Frears takes advantage of his directorial liberties, in which he transforms Mary into a minor character who not only appears to be self-immersed and annoyed by those around her, but distant in her relationship with her brother. The encounter with Philomena sparks no interest in Mary, and her unwelcoming presence has everyone in the room sitting on pins and needles. Her firm tone and lack of excitement to be introduced to such an important woman in her brother's life implies that she is very insensitive about the topic. She conceals her emotions and abruptly states that her and Michael never showed any interest in their Irish heritage, completely contradicting the novel. In fact, this scene does not even appear in the novel until the epilogue. These significant edits emphasize Mary's persona, in which she puts up a front of mental stability and acts as if the loss of her brother has had little to no impact on her everyday life. Behind closed doors, the viewers cannot witness her reaction to this tragedy, but in the novel, Mary finds herself in a deep depression, fighting hard to survive without her loving brother. The act that screams, "I've got this under control," might truly just be an act. It is possible that Mary's personal unconscious is rejecting the painful memory of losing the only true link to her Irish heritage, hence the fact that she denies ever traveling to her homeland. From a directorial perspective, the transformation of Mary's personality improves the overall movie by building up suspense and delaying the outcome of finding answers that would set Philomena's mind at ease. This captivates the attention of the audience and allows viewers to feel a sense of sympathy for the character of Philomena, which is a great engaging technique. Both the novel and the movie touch upon sensitive issues such as AIDS and teen pregnancy that are not suitable for young children, therefore setting a PG-13 recommendation. Stephen Frears is known for his creation of serious films that are reflective of true stories, and the reality can be too overwhelming for certain viewers who are younger than this age suggestion. Now the clip will begin to play. The scene begins with Philomena and Martin in a rented vehicle driving through the suburban streets of Florida, speaking and looking out for Mary's home. Judi Dench is the perfect actress to fit the role of Philomena Lee. She has been featured in countless famous English films, including one of the newly interpreted Pride and Prejudice films and Shakespeare in Love. Her success with past acting gigs, geared towards an audience of elder viewers, draws attention to this movie and supports the age rating. The dolly shot mounted on the moving vehicle captures the view of the tall trees and the natural landscape. The trees are covering any source of sunlight until the area opens up and the sun's rays gleam through, which may represent the fact that Philomena's journey will be lengthy and challenging, but rewarding in the end. The casting choice of Steve Coogan, who plays Martin Sixsmith, is quite odd considering Coogan is typically featured in movies with a comedic or childlike genre, such as Despicable Me and Night at the Museum. The camera then shifts and the vehicle is seen turning into the long pebblestone driveway leading to Mary's home. At the doorway, the camera takes a long shot of Philomena and Martin, and the two of them are seen to be dressed appropriately for the occasion. Martin is dressed in professional attire to uphold a reputable name, and Philomena dresses conservatively according to her age. There is then a cutaway transition which marks an important moment in the scene, the moment that Philomena comes face to face with her son's closest living relative. To establish the setting, the cameras are set outside of the home and are capturing the three of them speaking in the living room through a master shot.
Father Doc, very hard man.
With two complete strangers in her home, Mary seems to have no shame in her behavior. She aggressively bangs on the window and screams at her children, which is quite controversial to the stereotypical characteristics of a mother. Instead of nurturing her children and enforcing rules of discipline more calmly, she gives off the impression that her male personality traits, or animus, is significantly more dominant than her femininity. Throughout the scene, there is no background music, only a faint sound of birds chirping from the outdoors. This break of silence represents the happiness that Philomena has yearned for so many years and has finally found deep within herself now that she is advancing in her journey towards a sense of closure. Mare Winningham, the actress who plays Mary Hess, is a well-chosen cast member. Her light features closely resemble someone of an Irish background, and her age perfectly suits a middle-aged woman, which enhances her overall character. The camera, notepad, and pen are all incorporated in this scene to remind the viewers that this is not only a personal experience of Philomena's, but also a story to be published for the world to inspire mothers who are faced with a similar situation. The bird's eye view, looking at the photo album over Philomena's right shoulder, can give the viewers the impression that they are experiencing this moment along with her, making this one of the most emotional and promising details of the film.
Not really, no. We didn't really talk about that. What did you?
The final moment of this scene focuses on Philomena's facial expression with the aid of a close-up camera shot. Although the viewers cannot read her mind, her demeanor and look of reflection where she reminisces about the past tells a story in itself.